Hi, my name is Amberly. I chose to do the article titled Making Sense of Dissatisfaction During Transition to Motherhood Through Relational Dialectic Theory by Valerie Cohen Fisher and Erin Stallenhind Parcell. This was conducted using the interview, and the interview was semi-structured. The interviewees were collected by snowballing through social media. The textbook defines social or semi-structured interviewing as less formal. There's more of a chat going on between the interviewee and the interviewer. It's more of a conversation going on. It includes a narrative of the person's story and what their life experiences were. Mothers were asked in this study, mothers were asked to share their experiences before they got pregnant, while they were pregnant, and then their birth story. I find that this is really helpful to help mothers and the interviewer feel comfortable sharing such a vulnerable story, and hopefully give more insight and feel comfortable sharing how they feel about their role as a mother and motherhood. The research question identified culture disclosures when called upon when women make sense of their new role of motherhood and that meaning. Oftentimes mothers feel dissatisfaction in that role, and how that transition happens in contemporary society. Some of the findings that they found through this study was that women should want to be mothers, but sometimes it doesn't always feel like it's an innate thing that comes automatically or naturally to some women. Women want to be seen as good mothers culturally. They think it's socially acceptable. They feel it's socially acceptable when they are perceived as a good mother. It talked about too how motherhood for some women is a learned job, and some of them it's innate. And then it also talked about how mothers are struggling to make that work-life balance happen with their job and when they're going back to work. How I put this into perspective with a job that in a workplace problem. I thought a lot about how structured interviews and then semi-structured interviews could be helpful and maybe not helpful in the workplace. As an employee, if my boss were to come to me and do, say, a semi-structured interview and just have some loose questions that he would ask me, I feel like I could divulge a lot. But I also feel like that maybe wouldn't be smart on my part to divulge a lot of that information if I felt vulnerable with them. I might say things depending on the day that differently. And so I don't think that style of interview would be helpful if the employee was looking for something that to get a feel on how the workplace environment is and how maybe morale is in the office. I feel like in that kind of question, you would want to ask more formal interview questions that didn't really give the interviewee a chance to be vulnerable, a chance to really speak their mind. I feel like you have to be kind of careful and you have to tread lightly when it comes to those situations, because employees could really kind of go off the rails in this. But I feel like a more formal interview setting could be really helpful for employees to get feedback on how office morale is. Anyway, those are my thoughts on this article, and with this topic of interviewing. Thanks so much. Bye.